hey, it'll be fun to see, right?
Welcome back once again, skaters of all types, skill levels, and everything in between to the Skateboarding Maid. You might be noticing I got a wrist brace right now, and I'll go into detail on that a little bit here. Today, I want to go over some park basics, and today's is dropping in. Kind of one of the first things that, depending on your park, you might want to learn to do. Dropping in is a good way to, get speed, get into bowls. I mean, even just in regular things, people just drop in. You just drop in down a little plant holder thing, those things. I can't think of what they're called, but you see people on skate parks dropping into those, or on banks, whatever, dropping in. It's real important to learn how to do. And honestly, it's kind of one of the scariest things to do starting out, because you're going from flat to falling to moving, and it's fast and it's scary, and you're like, what if I fall back and crack my dome, or what if I fall back and do something to my legs or my wrists? There's a lot of things to worry about, but it's actually okay too. So I've got plenty of clips to show you for this, because I filmed the whole thing from start to finish on many bales, and then the successes afterwards. And along with that, I do want to get into something I think is pretty important for probably beginners. If you've been skating for a while, I'm sure you remember this too. But I want to get into park intimidation, because that's something that's very muchly a real thing, and is very muchly something that needs to be addressed. So, park intimidation, because even just the guys I was talking to when I was there, when you're skating and you're starting out and you don't know how to do anything, like you can barely even, push ollie, you don't want to be that guy that is obviously a beginner, and I think that's a fairly decent thing to know. No one wants to be that guy that just, for better lack of a term here, looks like a poser, because you don't want to be that guy that people will look at and laugh at and think, oh, that guy, he's such a poser, he's not, good or anything like that. Because when you're starting out, it's hard to feel like you fit in at a park, because you see these people that are flying out of bowls, flying out of banks, busting out kickflips, tray flips, or whatever, and they just make it look so buttery and seamless, and then you're over here like you're just bailing, trying to stand on your board. Like, it's intimidating to feel like that. And I definitely had that start out. I almost didn't make this video today because I thought I wasn't gonna be able to get to the park and go, because when I'm starting out, I like to just kind of I like to go when it's empty, because that way I don't feel like I'm being judged. And starting out, you want the best help you can get, and sometimes just that lack of feeling judged is what you need. But there's definitely something to be said that it's all in your head. I know that skating is basically 90% a mental thing, and that definitely translates to the park intimidation as well. Like, for example, I was, started to kind of feel a little bit, then I went to the corner, so there was a guy next to me when I was, going to my little quarter pipe to drop in, and I was like, hey, I'm, just kind of starting out, you got any tips for someone dropping in? And then, he was real chill about it. He gave me a lot of tips. And just talking to some of the people there, everyone's really supportive when you kind of break past the shell a little bit, I guess. I think one of the things to kind of mention is to just kind of be a little bit friendly, be a little bit open, and I think you're going to realize that people are a lot more supportive than you feel. Like, there's a lot of intimidation because there's just such a good skill level, and that scares you off for sure. But when you kind of start talking to people and start to get to know, people a little bit, and kind of, warm up to just the fact that you're a beginner, it becomes a lot easier to manage, and you don't feel as tied down when you're trying to, get out there and do stuff that you're not comfortable with, things that you're gonna fail on. Because everyone's been through that. Everyone's been through that failing period, that hazing period, I guess, so to speak, with themselves, where they're just not going, they're just getting everything down. And I think they all understand that, and everyone honestly does want to support you and just kind of do what they can. I mean, you probably are going to have some, jerks in your park, depending on where you are, because some people will be mean, but for the most part, people are actually going to be pretty supportive and, give you your best and encourage you. Like when I, finally, made the drop and there was, people clapping, cheering, it was pretty great. And I mean, then I got it back, did it a second time. It was awesome. I mean, honestly, it felt so good to do that, especially to kind of just get a little bit of that encouragement from the other guys in the park. Like, yeah, we did it. So honestly, park intimidation, it's definitely a real thing, but don't be afraid to ask a skater or two that looks pretty good for like just a tip on this or that, as long as they seem to be not in the middle of any kind of line or anything like that. It's definitely okay to ask someone for a tip or two, and honestly, they'll be helpful and they'll help you out. And I mean, you'll realize they're not going to judge you. It's all in your head. It's like wearing a helmet. I know people don't like to wear helmets. I'm very big on wearing a helmet right now, and I want to continue on to that in the future, because as silly as you might feel wearing a helmet, there's nothing to honestly stress more than keeping yourself safe as much as you can. Because honestly, a head injury's not worth the coolness points. So wear a helmet out there, you guys. But yeah, let me go ahead and just kind of pull up some of the clips. I'll get a few starting out. Maybe I'll just do a little compilation where you can see the amount of tries it took me to get there. I'll probably maybe add a little time code too, but you can see how long it took me to get there, and then the tries after. It's because a big part of this channel is showing the fails. So let me pull up some of the fails, and then we can finally get into where actually I dropped in once and then twice. And so you can see that little process. You can actually see, as I get closer and closer with each, attempt, where you can see I start to learn more and more kind of what to do. It's a really neat thing. So let me go ahead and pull that up, and I'll be back with you guys in just a second, okay? Fun stuff. And I mean, yeah, you got to see that guy cheering. I didn't actually know that guy. I just met him. He was there with like his brother or something, and they were, he was with a brother for scootering. And man, they were like, shout out to that guy. He was awesome. He was like he was the MVP. He was the hype guy, and he helped. I wouldn't have got it nearly as fast without him. He definitely made me feel like, yeah, I got this. I can do this. So huge shout out to that guy. That guy, you're great, man. But yeah, park intimidation, big thing, but I definitely think it is something to overcome. I do want to address something along with that line. Injuries. So you obviously saw in those videos, you know, slid out a lot, landed on my wrist, landed on my wrist. I don't think my wrist is broken. I haven't noticed any kind of like swelling or anything like that, but I have definitely noticed pain when it's bending back. Not like I can bend it back, but after a while it does start to hurt, like not so terribly that I couldn't do it more, but it is like kind of a, you might want to think about stopping kind of pain. It might just be strained or something. I got a little, you know, I got this little wrist brace just to, you know, kind of hold on for just a little bit to keep some pressure off it, because if there's anything more and I notice it in maybe, you know, next day or two, then I'm definitely going to obviously get that checked out, make sure that there's anything actually going on. Hopefully there's not. I haven't, again, noticed any kind of swelling or anything like that, but we'll, you know, see as the next day comes. Hopefully it's nothing. Hopefully it's just, you know, sore and strained from all the landing and such on it. But keep your injuries in mind. Do keep an eye on those things. I mean, even if I do have a broken wrist, I'm sure I can still skate with that. Just don't land on the wrist, obviously. Maybe just practice some other things that I'm more comfortable with. But stay safe out there, pad up. Do try to, you know, get over park intimidation. I know it's definitely a lot easier said than done, but maybe, you know, just try and ask a few people, just be friendly. Honestly, you're gonna notice pretty quick that most skaters at the parks are honestly gonna be real friendly and supportive. They're gonna help you out the best they can, and they're not gonna laugh at you. They're just gonna try to help you out, because at the end of the day, we all just want to have fun. We all just like skate, and I think that's the biggest takeaway today, is that you can do anything you really do set your mind to, as long as you have the motivation and perseverance to push through that curve. But you definitely can do it as long as you push through it. So keep on skating, you guys. See you next time. Good morning, good night, whatever it might be. Toodle pip.